I think the first words they heard was sniper rifle.
God damn it. I was really
Hello,
hoping to be right under
everybody.
the cut. Oh, God. I promise, whatever you think was the start of that sentence, anybody listening in the future, it was not the start of that sentence.
Yeah, it just
Oh,
if
God.
somebody important dies tomorrow, it's not.
There's nothing happened, no, especially not to any member of British Parliament or any member of the American or Canadian government or Mexican government, or please cut me off, Ashley, or Russian government.
It's
or
like when that one YouTuber was like, who has like a history of hating the Queen, went to England and the Queen died while they were there.
Who was that?
I don't remember.
I
but
think that's by
I love
design.
how things happen. Yeah, I think there is a case to be made.
I think there's an inside job happening here. The inside job, a person coming to England from the outside. It's an inside job.
Yeah, it's an inside job. It's an inside-outside job.
It's an inside-outside job directed by Pete Docter.
So anyway, it is time for the thought bubble.
Yes.
So before I get to the thing I really want to talk about, like 3 weeks ago, somebody was just like, when it might have just been 2 weeks ago, when somebody's like, when are you going to talk about the Switch 2? They want to know what I think about the Switch 2. And so I want to start on the Switch 2, even though I know they're not watching.
I'm waiting with bated breath for the one part I have anything to say about, because I'm a little excited about it.
I'm very much looking forward to the Switch 2. I mean, it isn't a huge leap like some other generations have been, but I think just making a better Switch is the play to make right now. So I just got distracted because like the views YouTube gives me is really delayed on my end for some reason, and it just started the show. Anyway, I'm hoping that's not how.
Are you on the
other
dashboard
viewers...
end? Because I
I'm on the
see. Well,
dashboard.
I don't know if mine is more delayed than yours or not, but for anybody listening, I'm using literally the same page that you are to watch it to see how many people are watching, to see the chat and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the dashboard. It's always a little slow, but Switch 2, it's going to be bigger. It looks like it's going to be just nicer to feel, a bit more of a premium product, I hope, because the original Switch, as nice as it is, doesn't feel like a premium product. It
I like that
definitely
there's more
feels
colors
like,
in this one.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that like locking mechanism for the Joy-Cons. I'm
Oh
excited to
yeah.
see how those feel. I feel like that's just going to be a fidgeting dream. Um, what else was I excited about? I mean, obviously I'm excited about a new Mario Kart, and it looks like that style is fucking dope. I love it.
I forget what it looks like.
Um,
I thought okay, Liz, I thought you said I hope the Joy-Cons have drift like as a spite thing for some reason. Like, I don't know, you're a PlayStation lover or something. I but Owl Above City Lights. I d- Have we seen you before?
Hi.
Ashley, do you know them?
I don't think I've seen that username before. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But hello, welcome. But yeah, the Switch 2. It says it's going to be backwards compatible for most games. I'm assuming some of the games that it's not going to be backwards compatible with are stuff that has to do with the old Joy-Cons. Like 1-2 Switch, where it will use the IR sensor and it doesn't necessarily look like the new controller has that, which is fine with me. Nobody ever fucking used it. No one asked for it. So that's fine. And I'm gonna assume they're gonna make a new Ring Fit, because that was a huge phenomenon when it came out, and it has specific uses with the old Joy-Cons. Oh, hi. I think my brain is really slow.
That's okay.
If it's you, just text me. I have Discord up in the in the other window.
Yeah, we both have split
Um,
screen with Discord for anybody needed. Also, you can verify who you are at at the Ashley verse Discord server, which is linked at mrsashley.gay. But
it is who I
yeah,
think, because I just started typing. I saw that
yeah,
shit.
good to see Lunar as well.
Yay!
Yeah,
Um,
I am a little though disappointed that about the lack of an IR lack of anything IR with it, because, and I know this wasn't the biggest use of the Switch, I understand that, but it was to me one of the coolest things ever with the console. The Labo stuff relied so heavily on the IR emitters or IR sensors. I forget which way around it was. I think it was sensors.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Labo kit that I've never made. I bought it for like
That's fair.
$20 at like a little thrift store.
I just think it was cool. I think it encouraged a different kind of creativity than gaming traditionally does. I mean, and
Yeah.
gaming as it usually is on the Switch is great. I'm like, this is a different flavor. This is a nice little versatile gimmick, and it's not too expensive. And I don't know if the flagship like official fucking Labo sets were expensive or not, but I'm sure there was a way to work it around. It was fucking cardboard. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, what else do you like about it?
I really hope the kickstand is better. He says, can you draw on the new one screen directly at all with like a stylus? You'd have to it doesn't work in Animal Crossing. You would have to have like one of those shitty what am I trying to, like, conductive stylus. It's not like they have a specific stylus for the
Are those
Switch.
compatible with the Switch? Because
And
I know they're obviously compatible with like Android, iOS, but like, are they like, can you just use
I
shit
think
like
so. I
that with
think
like
it's
a?
the same technology. I mean, I could be wrong and they use a different technology, but I think it should just work.
I mean,
But
that's
I think they're
awesome. If
terrible. I hate
oh,
those kinds of stylus.
to be
But
fair, I never used one. I only think it's conceptually a cool idea.
yeah, it doesn't have like a specific one like an Apple Pencil or the S Pen or something like that. But I know there are some games. Does Mario Maker 2 let you? I would assume so, because Mario Maker 1 with the
Have to.
gamepad did. But obviously I would never see it because people make videos by having to plug it into the dock. So I don't know. I never built anything in Mario Maker 2. I just played the levels.
I'm gonna fucking say it now. I would love to see Procreate on the Switch, and that is not a joke. That like I wouldn't if I was like, am I gonna get a Switch or not? That's not a deciding factor. Obviously, that'd be bullshit. But like, it'd be cool. You know, take off the Joy Cons and just use it. You know, especially if like a kid is less likely to have a fucking iPad Pro than they are to have access to a Switch, and if they want to make some art, I think that'd be a cool idea. I think that'd be an awesome idea.
Yeah, I think like it would especially make sense considering the mouse Joy-Cons that we're presumably getting. I still don't think they're confirmed, but we might as well assume.
That was the thing I was waiting for you to mention. I think the mouse idea is so fucking cool. It's so cute.
I think it's
so
really
awesome.
fucking
so
cool. I think I hope this is where they might take it. Is we have had Game Boy emulation on it. We've had Super Nintendo. We've had N64. I want DS emulation on the Switch 2, where you can use the mouse part of the Joy-Con to interact with the bottom screen if you're not directly at your Switch. Like if you're playing a DS game on the TV or something.
Like what you would... Do you mean like you would point it at it like it's a Wii remote, or do you mean you'd like use the mouse on your palm?
You use your mouse on like if it tracks well, like on your leg or on the like arm of the chair on a table in front of you.
Just
because
use your Joy-Con
how
like a
many games really use the not a lot of games use the touchscreen on the DS like all the time, so you just need to like do it every now and then to do something.
Yeah.
So I think that would work very well for most games. Not all. I think
there were okay, because like for instance, there was like what was the fucking name? There was like a lot of games on the DS that I don't know if this was a running theme. This was just a pattern I noticed. A lot of games directed towards girls seemingly as a target market, for some reason seem to have a lot of touch control integration. Like my something teacher, and like it was like a career thing, and like you were a teacher in a classroom, and I remember playing that on my sister's DS, and there was a fuckload of using that stylus, and it was fun. Like it was by no means a bad game, but I also noticed if I was playing Lego Batman, there was not much of that. There was, it was like every now and then, and I don't even think it was required when you would use it. Yeah, I think there was like always ways, most of the time at least, I think there were ways to get whatever you wanted done with just ABXY. But yeah, the ones that required usage of the stylus for some reason had a pattern of that. But I want to say Owl Above City Lights. I'm going to call you Owl if that's okay. Let us know in chat if that's okay. But I love the idea that you mentioned of putting Flipnote on the Switch. Yes, because that was everybody's introduction to animation. That is how you get little animators starting early, and I want it, and I want it, and I want it. Yes.
I love Flipnote. There are still people out there doing the Flipnote style on their old DSs and like uploading it to TikTok and shit. I love Flipnote. I don't know how I'd want it iterated on somehow, but I don't know how I would iterate it because they had Flipnote 3D for a little bit.
I don't know anything about that, but
I don't really either. That sounds like a lot of work.
Like what? Because as much as I would love for Flipnote to be elaborated on, the unfortunate part of that would have to be you can't go too far with it, because part of what made it so accessible and non-intimidating to children is its simplicity of controls. Not to say that you couldn't expand it, but you'd have to keep that in mind. But also one thing that I like for anybody who's looking out for for anyone who doesn't have a DS or doesn't feel like using one for it, but does want to try that style, I know that I think built into the program If you want to go poking around in Krita, Krita, it is an illustration software for free that you can get for PC, probably Mac and Linux. Haven't checked in a while, but it has basic animation tools similar to Flipnote, all things considered, and it has cute little brushes, gimmicky ones, that and I say that in a positive way, that actually mimic what I remember from the Flipnote tools, like the dotty bits of it and how they constructed blobs of that variety, and I'm very happy with them for including that kind of mechanic. Yeah, and Owl says maybe something that has the vibe, but for this new generation, simple but updated. We could even make it a game. We can unlock new tools. Yes, like a Duolingo, but less aggressive.
Better. Duolingo's dead. Did you hear about that?
What? Did they shut down?
Yeah, no, they killed the bird.
What?
Duo is dead.
What do you mean Duo is dead?
Go to their Twitter right now.
Fucking did they
I'm pretty sure this is
comment?
Real. Duolingo.
I think I heard about this, but I'm like, I don't know what that fucking means because I haven't used Duolingo in centuries. Oh god, I'm not signed in for a reason that I'm about to get into in another topic. I believe you. I don't know what that means though. Something that teaches you art. Hey, I just started using the app again and saw the bird right there. Yeah, faked his own.
He got hit by a Cybertruck.
Oh my god! Is this canon?
It's their newest tweet. Because earlier today, or no, it was yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. They posted it with heavy hearts that we inform you that Duo, formerly known as the Duolingo Owl, is dead. Authorities are currently investigating his cause of death, and we are cooperating fully. TBH, he probably died waiting for you to do your lesson, but what do we know? We're aware he had many enemies, but we kindly ask that you refrain from sharing why you hate him in the comments. If you feel inclined to share, please also include your credit card number so we can automatically sign you up for Duolingo Max in his memory. We appreciate you respecting Dua Lipa's privacy at this time.
Okay. Did they specifically say Cybertruck?
There is a video. It is their newest tweet from 17 minutes ago of Duolingo getting hit by a Cybertruck.
There's a video of Duolingo getting hit. It's not even a mention.
And the stream just heard it because I started playing it.
I did not hear it because I don't hear the stream. But this is a stretch. I'll grant you this is a stretch, but there is some universe where you could consider this kind of a backdoor little piece of political activism saying fuck you Elon Musk. I just hope that that's what they're going for, just being super vague about it. Not super vague, but yeah.
Speaking of political activism, the Super Bowl halftime show, did anyone watch it? Stream, did you watch it?
I did not, but anybody in there?
You did not, but it was so fucking good. It was very good, political demonstration, almost, in a way.
Excuse me?
You don't watch sports ball. I don't watch sports ball either, but the Super Bowl halftime show was fucking amazing. Kendrick Lamar basically came out and was just like, yeah, the revolution's happening. Yeah, what does that mean? Let me find the exact quote. Kendrick Revolution.
Kendrick out here quoting the score.
Oh, come on.
I feel like the hype that you have around it.
The fucking
the hype you're building around it.
Samuel Jackson coming on to play Uncle Sam.
Oh, you've sold me.
During it. Yeah. The first thing he comes out and says is, "This is the great American game." He is like a heckler of Uncle Sam. Let me... Come on.
That's where Samuel L. Jackson's been.
How did this article give me every quote except for the one I'm looking for?
There's got to be some
Come
kind of transcription
on.
of it. It's the fucking Super Bowl. Here, I'll look for it. I keep forgetting I also have the capability to Google things on air, but
Let me see. The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. In reference to the election, of course.
it's a what?
I've heard good. Yeah, we picked the wrong guy. Not to be pessimistic or negative, but wouldn't Kendrick be one of the people murdered in the revolution because he's rich? He actually is. There is a moment in the show directly talking about that. So
For
you have
captions on,
transcription. I would be curious
for
about
this
how to
stream.
turn captions on for the stream. I need to look into it. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that live.
We'd also have to stop talking over each other. I refuse. I don't know if that's ableist, but
Sorry,
do captions allow for that?
if we're gonna be ableist for talking over each other, just fucking kill us. We're not gonna be able to stop it.
No. To be clear, I like my say ableist was like, oh, if I'm making a decision that further accommodates not putting in an accessibility feature, or sorry, that justifies not putting in an accessibility feature.
Oh no,
Kendrick
it's gonna
wants to
be in
sacrifice
there.
himself.
It's just gonna not be good at times.
Okay, I want to know actually. Hold on. So, I want to know your perspective on this, Ashley. If
Mhm.
someone is still rich, and let's close off billionaires from this because we all know there's no way to get an ethical billion. But if someone is still rich, but the voice that they have, the platform that they have that made and sustains their wealth, they are using actively and consistently to call out people more powerful than them and also any of their peers that are doing shit. You know, they're using their platform wisely for what we'd want them to do with it. Do you think that that person should be included in the eat the rich mentality, or do you think including them in the first place is a misunderstanding? Or
in my view, eat the rich is for the super rich and not just
I
people who
see.
have a cool million, you know?
Okay.
Like a millionaire, whatever. We have much bigger problems than a
Yeah.
few millionaires walking around. What is Kendrick's net worth? That is important.
You gotta find
Net
out
worth
the right
of
place to Google it.
140 million, absolutely nowhere near the top of the richest people. So I would not necessarily include him in the eat the rich kind of
Is the floor
mentality.
exactly $1 billion for you, or is
I don't know
any
where
lower
it
than
would
that?
be. I think
Okay.
really it's about how you're using the money, and I don't think like
Right.
he just owns a lot of things that's probably his net worth that are really expensive. I don't think he's sitting on a bunch of shit that's like negative to society for him to have. Like, you know, like an Elon or a Trump or whoever. They are just sitting on things that are negative for society for them to sit on.
So, because you're saying it's more about the context of the wealth and what they're doing with it, I'm curious, does that mean that like someone who's rich but still does not have as much money as Kendrick, because they use their wealth differently and in less just ways, that they would still be part of the eat the rich dynamic? Like they would be
I would
the
say
rich
so.
that
I
is-
think a landlord that owns like, you know, it has like maybe 200,000 to their name is much more of a target for my ire than Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. I agree. I wanted to know where we were on that one.
And from what it seems like, Kendrick is like genuinely politically motivated for good, for wanting a better, you know, life for people who are downtrodden on. Like, I mean, he said on maybe one of the biggest stages, to the first time a president has come to the Super Bowl, while he is there, 40 acres and a mule. Like, he knew they picked the wrong guy. He's saying this shit to the president's face on one of the biggest stages in the world. I think he kind of understands what's going on. Hoarding the wealth
And
is the problem, in my opinion, and the root of
yeah,
immorality is that one person living a lavish lifestyle while another is starving to death. Absolutely. And I think
yeah,
Kendrick gives back to his community.
I think that there's also an often overlooked. I think both of us like have this kind of internalized, but I think there's an often overlooked factor of this, which is that it's that if someone has a lot of money or a lot of connections, any kind of like they have a wealth of resources at their disposal of whatever kind, that grants them a certain amount of privilege, and makes it so that they can have, past a certain level of comfort and security in their life that a lot of other people don't have. If they were to give up that whole fucking thing, that's not like more altruist than having it inherently. It's like basically if you give up the whole fucking thing, you then can't help people as much as if you still had a bunch of it and we're checking out a bunch at a time, but not the whole fucking thing. So
like
a
genuine,
person
what did I say?
sustaining
140 million is what he has. That's fucking nothing money. So like, especially like, as long as you're not like getting that through landlord bullshit or hoarding of actual needed supplies for people, I think 140 million is like a whatever issue. It doesn't really mark on me. It depends on, like I said, what you do with it. And so like if that 140 million is all in real estate that you're not selling to other people and you're just renting it, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
But anyway, the halftime show was fucking awesome. He looks directly at the camera and calls Drake a pedophile. It's great.
Whoa.
He doesn't say pedophile, but he didn't need to. The entire stadium did it for him.
Did they censor it? Because this is a
they did have
podcast.
to censor it.
Okay. Yeah.
They did. They made him not say the word, but they did say A minor
America
and everything else. It does say, "Oh, I hear you like him young."
Say A minor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is an amazing show.
Oh shit! I love when they play with the censors.
There is a part of it where all of the like dancers that he has around are either in red, white, or blue. And there's a part where he has them all stand really close together to form the American flag, and then he splits it in half.
Oh.
And it's just like, oh god, A minor is a musical chord. Nothing nefarious there, obviously.
It's no, I'm not even going to sarcastically say what I was just gonna say. I don't want that being
halfway through the show, he teases playing the song, and he's just like, "Oh, but they like to sue," and so he goes into a different song just to come back later.
So I'm about to say "achoo," like he leads it into a different version of the song.
And he's just like, "I want to do something. I want to play their favorite song." And it's like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And they play the first bar, and he's just like, but I can't. They're gonna sue me."
So crowd, I'm gonna need you to play it for me. Everybody brings out fucking like digital interfaces to play the song.
They probably literally could have. They were so loud. I don't know. You can hear the crowd say A minor when it gets to that part, and I really hope they didn't even need to superimpose that. I hope that's just how loud the stadium was.
Where is Drake now? Oh my god.
Hopefully hiding, crying.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I thankfully I get to take a break from all this. I've been watching the news lately. I just get to have a break from everything. God, it's such bullshit. I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl. Probably nothing happening there.
And at the so it ends with "Not Like Us," that song, and at the very end, all of the lights go out, and in the stands you can see lights that spell out "Game Over." And when that happened, somebody put out a TikTok of like Drake reacting to the halftime show, and at the very end is like, "This is just the beginning of this game," and then it says "Game Over." It's like, how did he know? How did he know what I was gonna say?
Has Drake come out with any like music recently? I'm really curious if he decided to
He
entirely fuck off from it.
he has been making music. No one's been listening.
Because I was not already a Drake listener, I gotta be honest. I was also not already a Kendrick listener. This one song is the only thing I really know about Kendrick.
I've been trying to get more into more of Kendrick's stuff because, like, especially after the halftime show where he's played a lot of his music now, I like a lot of it. There's some that I'm just like, whatever, but I really like it.
He fits really tight into like a subcategory of music for me, where it's like, if someone's playing it, then I'll enjoy it. I think he sounds good, but it's like not the kind of music that it's not something that I ever feel like, oh, I'm going to play this in my own time as something that specifically feels catered to my taste, and that's okay. It's just like, if you throw it on, bam, I'm grooving, I'm dancing. It's just something it's not the kind of thing that's involved in my daily life. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I just don't listen to a lot of music too much, so that's why it's
You're a
like
country
hard for
fan.
me to you say that like it's a slur.
Not intentionally. Oh my god.
You're a
I
country
will say-
fan. We don't even need to listen to you.
Okay, like, let's say 2 years ago I would have said it like that, but like oh god, because a good buddy of mine who's been into Shawn Mendes for a long ass time, and we both love Shawn, and he recently, especially after like some mental health shit, and he's been trying to recover himself and heal himself, he came out with, I think, just an album called Shawn, and I think it's his first country album. At least I would call it country. Is it inherently country if it's like predominantly acoustic? It's certainly got some country vibes.
Acoustic doesn't mean country.
Like, what's the threshold for country past just being acoustic songs?
The country is like an entire like culture there.
Okay, so
Like,
is there like
not anything that has an amazing beat is rap.
yeah, that's true. It's like, where do you put the bar between, pun intended?
Not
Where do you
every
put the bar
EDM
between-
is dubstep.
That's right. Okay, so I guess it's just
Also, Lunar, what do you mean
okay.
one of those people? You mean Southerners? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Anyway, continue.
Lunar, aren't you Southern? I'm pretty sure you are. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to listen to it and tell me whether it's country, there's some stuff in there that I'm like, if this isn't country, I don't know what is, but the rest of it I'm like, this might just be acoustic. And I'm like, this feels very catered to what I like, especially because he usually has like certain little cues that I like from film scores that make it have a certain roomy sound to it, and I like that, and that's my country taste. Anyway, thanks for giving me that tangent time. I wonder, is there any music discoverings you've had lately?
Let me pull up Spotify. See what
Sure.
I have on my likes recently. See, liked songs. Beth McCarthy's All My Friends Are Hot. I fucking love that song. I listen to it all the time now.
Okay.
Let me see what else. So I've been listening to Doechii now. Doechii popped off on TikTok this last year, and so I've been listening to more of Doechii stuff. And then by extension, Tyler the Creator now, because they've done a song together. Very much love all of it. Denial is a River by Doechii, very good. Balloon featuring Doechii by Tyler the Creator and Doechii, also very good. Let's see. I also like country though, so one of those people too. So yeah, don't even fucking get on me, Lunar.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any like songs that I know are country that just you did not introduce me to, and I don't. Besides "Life Is a Highway," which doesn't count because that's Pixar. I know it was not made by Pixar, but it's a Pixar song, and you can't tell me differently. Um, okay, and also anything Dolly Parton, because I know I'm just very specifically a Dolly Parton fan as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, who isn't?
Yeah.
There's a EP that came out by I'm hoping Lady Satan, Saytenn. I don't know how else to say
Sure.
it. But like a person I know, like tangentially helped making this EP, and I really like it's just 3 songs, very cool vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I get this album recommended to me. It's ADD or all. I haven't listened to all of it, but the little bits I've listened to I really liked. I'm trying to think of a vibe for it. I mean, it's called ADD or all. It's kind of crazy electronic music. Say teen, okay. Other than that, I don't think so. I went back and listened to What's Up Danger from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, that's just always a good
That's
song.
a really good one. I want to say, in terms of electronic music, EDM or dubstep, because I know there's a lot of it that I like, but I wasn't able to like figure out what it is that I like about certain dubstep and not other dubstep, and just general I'm just gonna say electronic music. You just throw an umbrella on it. I think it's because, and this is the problem I have with metal, but not glam metal or hard rock. This is the same thing I have with those. It's that if the beat is fast enough that I don't feel like I could effectively and fluidly imagine it being put to something else visually, then it's not as appealing to me. Like, so if there's like a thrasher metal that's going like if it has a little portion of that that's just going like for a little bit, then fine. But if it's faster than like if it's a lot faster than, let's say, Bangarang by Skrillex, let's go for a little bit of an old example, or Ghost and Stuff by Deadmau5, or if it's, I'm trying to think of another one that's like a good example. I think those two are pretty good. And Daft Punk is pretty good at electronic funk as well. But yeah, it's just, it needs to be under a certain tempo, or I'm like, oh, I really don't feel like I can do anything with this. This doesn't feel as close to other things that I like. Oh yeah, and you have the right to it, Liz. That's fine. Yeah. It's just like if it's constantly through the song going and that's its bass line, I'm like, you enjoy that. I'm gonna walk out for a bit though. Like if it's for a few seconds, that's different.
If you want a taste of my country music vibe, Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs.
Oh, that's a
Buy
good
Me
one.
a
I
Boat
remember
by
showing me
Chris
that.
Jansen.
Yeah.
Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert. Let's see. I mean, obviously the dove went down to Georgia. I'm from Georgia. You got to know it. It's part of growing up in
Right.
Georgia. There Ain't Nothing Wrong with the Radio by Aaron Tippin. Boot Scootin' Boogie by Brooks and Dunn. Redneck Yacht Club by Craig Morgan. Chicks Dig It by Chris Cagle. Absolutely so amazing, hilarious songs.
I'm trying to jot down as many of these as I can.
I could literally send you the
Broke My
YouTube
Heart.
music playlist. Like, I just looked at my playlist.
You could send it in the fucking thought bubble, honestly.
Not
server.
everybody
Yeah.
needs my playlist, but
I think if they're a thought bubble fan, they could use your playlist. I'm gonna let you set the boundaries necessary for you.
Boot Scoot and Boogie
Yeah.
is good, absolutely.
I think at the top of my head, the only one of those that I'm like, I could see myself constantly listening to this is Ice Cold Beer Never Broke My Heart. That's got a really good chorus to it.
It does.
That's got the chorus in that has a Venn diagram of this is the best of rock and country. This is real rhythm to me.
Bubba Shot the Jukebox by Mark Chestnut as well.
Did not think you were going to say jukebox.
It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere by Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett.
course. You gotta have some Jimmy Buffett.
Well, duh. I'm not a monster. God, what were our other fucking topics for this episode?
I was literally like, when can I find just the vaguest transition to my topic? Because this one's been waiting over a week, I want to
This
say.
is like when you go up
And-
for stand-up and you forgot the script, and so you're just
Right,
riffing.
right.
This is what this
Even
this
though
episode is
literally-
right now.
My notes are less than like 2 feet from my face, and I'm still like, when can I... What am I gonna do here? No, but I do want to transition very sharply into
And that's what I
a
did.
long time ago. Yes, and you did a great job. A long time ago.
That's why my PNG tuber is so angular.
A long time ago, we talked about the Arc browser, and you were like, basically, I don't know if I told you about this part specifically, but that kind of normalized the idea of in my head of looking out for a browser that actually specifically suits your needs rather than just of the big famous ones, which one is not a deal breaker for you, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't want to use Chrome because of its resource hogging, and Firefox had some reason I stopped using it, and frankly, with what I found, don't feel like going back. But yeah, with Arc, it's after a while stopped having compatibility with a lot of DRM stuff for some reason, no matter what I did. And also, apparently, they just, outside of security updates, just outright stopped development on the Windows version of Arc. And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah, I'm gonna...
Yeah, I think
gonna
there
just
is
not-
another browser they're focusing on more than Arc. Arc was their like baby project.
Okay, my interpretation of it was they were just focusing more on Arc Search, the mobile version, and the Mac version, because everybody always said the Mac version was better, which I believe you, but I'm not using a Mac to find out. But yeah, so I was looking around for different browsers, and much later than this venture, I found out about I was reminded of the Zen browser, which is essentially Arc, but I guess just not done by Arc. It really effectively feels identical to it, but I'm glad I didn't find that yet because I would have gone to it. I landed on Vivaldi, which had been recommended to me by developers a bunch of times, and just anybody who was a power user in a creative field. And the one complaint I'd always heard about it, sorry, the 2 complaints. One, resource hogging. I'll get to that in a second. And secondly, that there's all of too many options. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, Ashley, probably. I am not one of those people who can be presented with too many options if they're presented in even a moderately intuitive manner. If you can have, pardon the expression in the current political climate, an everything app, then I like that. I don't like a scattered experience. It's kind of the opposite of when I was like a teenager and I'm like, ooh, if there could be an independent app for everything I use, that's what I want to do. No. Vivaldi has pull-out tabs for everything if you want to do it, and it's all of... I could see it so easily overstimulating somebody, but it's... There's so much control to it, and it can also be really simple, just like any other browser. I'm gonna sound like an ad. Just this is the part of the podcast where Stevie sounds like an ad. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I
fucking
was
here.
just that I was half waiting for this to be an Opera GX ad. No, that's actually what we both left for Arc browser in the first place.
Immediately before, because it just stopped working in any of the ways I wanted it to, Opera GX, and it was just getting so fucking slow. But I two of like the
it's
the
actually I'm gonna interject for just a second and say that today and last night specifically, Arc browser's been really slow for me. So when I used Arc browser, I don't know if this is how you had it set up. You with the tabs on the left side, you can have it hide the little tab area and only appear when you move your mouse to the left side of your screen.
Yeah,
it has been really slow about that in the last couple of days, and it's been pissing me off because like nothing else is happening on my computer. My resources aren't being hogged. It's just fucking slow. So I'm genuinely, I might have to look into Vivaldi if you make a good case for it.
It's funny you should mention that because one of the weirdest little things that this egregiously customizable browser, which again, just want to reiterate, neither of us are paid to say anything about any. I just genuinely like this, and this is just notes that I have about it. But it's famous for being overly detailed and customizable if you want it to be. Yet you cannot, without like some, I think, CSS coding, get the sidebar tabs to do that. It's either they are on, they are off, or you resize them. But it's not, you can't get it to where you hover to the side, because even fucking Edge has that. And that was another browser that was recommended when I was hopping around. And I tried that for all of 2 days. And I'm like, this does work kind of well, Edge. But I don't want to use Microsoft products if I don't have to. And also, they're not great at resource allocation. If I want to store it in a different place, I want to store it in a different place. And Vivaldi mostly lets you do that. Secondly, much better mobile app and syncing with it. At least in my experience, with Arc Search on Android, it was Arc in name only. It was just a basic browser that worked, but there was no real reason for me to move away from the Opera GX, because I want to use the same browser between both devices, for those who don't know, if I can, just because I like syncing and I like a consistent experience. Media sharing works better as well. I have not found a mainstream well-supported modern browser that still has the ability to, and like use this wisely of course, but to, share DRM media with your friends, where it's like, you're just in a Discord chat and you're you're watching a movie with a buddy.
But that would be illegal.
Well, is that illegal?
You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that though, but I just under hypothetical circumstances, I want to say
hypothetical. It is a thing you can do. It is a feature.
Yes, exactly.
I would say it's a bug, just for legal reasons.
Yes, right. But I want to say though, isn't that it's like only illegal if one, either you're recording it, or two, you're streaming it to a broad audience unlicensed.
No, I don't think there's specific law about it, so I'm going to go with it's illegal.
Okay, so this is a bug that, golly gee, I hope they fix, because it adds no convenience and camaraderie and love of the media itself to the experience. You just can't do that. But anyway, so that's a thing that, God, I hope they patch up at some point. And so that's a thing you can do. Thank you, Ashley, for saving my ass. But yeah, so everyone says it runs worse, because I have just a list of notes on it here. Because okay, I want to say, related to Lunar's note there, that, because like as far as I know, if it's with like small groups, hypothetically, it's like similar laws to if like you just brought in your buddies to watch a movie on your couch, where it's just a small group of people, and it's like you're not putting it in a fucking megaplex unlicensed, you're just doing it because by and large people would just do it with like one other person, maybe like a handful, but not like a stadium, unlicensed. Anyway, so moving on, it by default has this enabled, where if you hover over a tab and see the preview of it, you get to see how much RAM it's taking up in megabytes. And you can just very easily manually hibernate stuff, or you can set it in the very extensive settings to auto hibernate things based on how it, automatically detecting your resources and how much it's taking up and giving it its best shot. Or you could just set it to, and you can also click on a tab that you're currently using and say, hey, every background tab, every tab that I'm not currently focused on, hibernate all of them. And that makes it so that they are unloaded until you hit them, and then you get to see them again. They have stacked tabs instead of tab groups. It essentially works the same, but you can have individual tabs, or you can click and drag them inside of other tabs, so that then you have a whole other set of tabs. It's another way to do tab groups. And you could do that for whatever reason. I have that for in my workspaces. Under my personal one, I have like, if I have a bunch of YouTube tabs, I have that under one tab group. And then if I have like notes or if I have emails or something, then I have that in another tab group. Maybe if you're doing some online shopping and comparing prices or something, maybe if you're organizing projects with people, you have different tab groups for each of those. You can pin them if you want, don't pin them, it's up to you. You can rename tabs, which I don't know if that's a common feature. I only found that once I came here, never bothered to find it in other places. And here's where it gets to the flashy stuff that is like, this is like a super cool thing that I've never found with another browser, and it does make it beefier, but it's useful. Built-in email client, where you can add as many emails as you want. Of course, it just acts as an email client, and it just makes it a tab in your browsing experience, and you have like a pull-out thing that shows you like, oh, all your email folders, not what's in them, but a count if you decide to display that, of how many emails you have in total in there, how many you have unread. Under that, you have feeds, because you talked about feeds, falling in love with RSS feeds, and how you are subscribed to Feedly, which I'm sure that's been serving you well. But what I decided to do is I just looked around for all the feeds that I care about, and it has an automatic function at like YouTube channels and shit like that, where you can turn it into an RSS feed. I don't know if it has a built-in, if just YouTube does that as a built-in function, but Vivaldi intuitively knows how to just grab that at least. And I now have like an RSS feed thing that essentially acts as a subscription feed, because I don't feel like cleaning out my subscriptions after years and years, and I don't like YouTube's subscription interface, and so I just use essentially an RSS feed group to do it. And also one that I can put as many in as possible, because Feedly has a limit on how many you can put in for free, how many you can have in any feed for free. With this, haven't found a limit so far, and I have been borderline egregious about it. And you can just scroll through them. It's pretty fast and fluid for me, and I am not on a top of the line computer. What am I missing here? Yeah, and again, you can hide most of this if you want. It just works great as a browser. Themes work really well. Custom icons and backgrounds and shit, transparency, different shapes for buttons and all that. You can make it pretty effectively look like an application from like Windows 95, Windows 8, fucking different browsers from across internet history. You can make it look like and these are user created themes, just so you know. It comes packed with just like normal ones, but there's like a free essentially store of them, like the Chrome Web Store for extensions. And by the way, you can also get Chrome extensions for it. Those are completely compatible. But about the themes, one that I used for about the first week of it, and I'd gladly go back to it, is one that essentially simulated like a Windows Vista or 7 kind of interface, because I thought that was cute. And it like had faithfully accurate aesthetic buttons for it. I have never used the Launchpad page in a new tab in a browser like as a function. Like I have never used it as intended in any browser, but in Vivaldi it's customizable enough that your dashboard, you could just actually have things that are useful to you in there. In mine, what's in my dashboard? I have just a brief overview of my emails, the date and time in case I don't want to glance at the corner of my computer. I have the weather, some sticky notes, a dictionary, feeds, and a tip of the day about Vivaldi. And none of this takes up too much processing power, as long as I have native tabs and I don't need to use a bunch at once. And that's most of it. I want to respond to some comments here because my notes were covering them. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, you need no excuses for infinite tabs. You do. That's fine. You could just hibernate a bunch of them. Unread emails, thousands. You can. Lunar says you can push F12 and change the name of a tab. Just in any browser, or is that Vivaldi? Because I just know you can double click it. Also, F2 brings up a bunch of great search options in here. Hal says not sponsored, but should be. Sure. Lunar says, does it have ad blockers on mobile? I think so. I know that the desktop version has an optional toggle that you can switch at any time. I think even website to website, between no blocking or blocking trackers and ads, which is the default setting, that last one. And I think like when you first install it on mobile or on PC, that is one of the first options you see for like, what level of this do you want? But yeah, okay, so changing names of tabs is a thing you can do on any Chrome or Firefox browser, apparently. Sure. But here's a bunch of toys. And I have, like, for my common websites, I have, like, folders in my dashboard, different tabs in there that just, like, show me essentially, like, apps on my phone home screen. My most commonly used websites, just so I don't have to type in shit if it's something I commonly use, and it feels like an environment built for me. You can build it for you. Takes a little bit of time, but then you don't have to do shit again besides click on things that you already set up if you want to play around with it. And it also has a calendar that I haven't used yet. It has notes. I've been looking through these notes for the thought bubble. I use a mix of beeper notes and Vivaldi notes. I also have my sister got me into TickTick. Not going to get into that as a whole app. It's just a productivity thing I'm trying out on the side. And you can get that or any website as a pop-out panel, like the feeds and like email counters. You can have your contacts here. There is goddamn so much. I think I've said the majority of it. Bookmarks and bookmark folders work about as expected. Yeah. And so I'm passionately in love with this browser. And if it stays this usable, and if it doesn't if it doesn't fuck anything up, or if it doesn't stop being maintained in this way, I don't see myself ever leaving it. Ever. Yeah.
I turn off the panel on the right. Show panel toggle. Okay, wait. Where can I?
You can also just make that wholly disappear. Yeah.
Well, I can handle the toggle because there is some cool stuff in that. I definitely didn't just install it during you talking about it.
That's fine. Also, I want to say one more tiny thing. There's so many themes with like just making it like cute, like making it look like a toy. Like like if you want just like a break from the day and you want to make it look like, oh, this is like what a browser would look like in a fucking video game, or this is what like a Barbie laptop's browser would look like, or this is what a Hot Wheels browser would look like, or this is what a Cyberpunk browser would look like. You know, I have like steampunk incandescent bulb looking ones from like a God of War theme, and the icons, you could just choose to use a set of icons for another theme as well. So I have just like what looks like a writer's workshop theme that I tacked on some like old incandescent looking, almost Nordic, glowing almost orange, bronzy, tactile looking buttons for it. There's a lot. Anyway, do you have anything to say or ask?
There is Razer Chroma integration. There's Philips Hue integration. I'm just looking through the settings right now. I might give it a try, especially if Arc keeps screwing with me. The one thing I'd like, so my biggest love for Arc is that the bookmarks, if you want to call them that isn't necessarily how I would call them, are these big, very easily readable buttons in the top left of the bar, of the tab bar. And I really like that because it makes it kind of feel like everything's more of like an app, which I know some of our programmers might be frustrated of everything's turning into an app, but I really enjoy that usage of it, of just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to the YouTube website, I'm going to the YouTube app in my browser or whatever, because I don't like the YouTube app. I like the website way more than the desktop app.
The desktop app sucks.
Yeah. So like having that there is really nice, and I wish I could do the same thing within Vivaldi, and I might try to tinker around to see if I can. But you know how I am, where I think on mobile, like words are just getting in the way of my home screen for my icons. If it says YouTube below the YouTube button, it's like, oh wow, that really helped
Right.
me figure out that was YouTube. And I want it gone. It doesn't need to be there. And I would like the same for Vivaldi, but without just, because it says rename, and can I just rename it to nothing? That is the question. No,
I want to say
can't.
two things about the app kind of way of thinking. Firstly, I do think in the Vivaldi Discord server, I have found like some CSS mods that people have made so that you can now. I've heard that updates kind of break this, but it brings the because Zen browser has that app kind of layout like Arc. It's almost identical to Arc, but it puts it in about the same place apparently. The thing that, because I also really like that app layout just as an intuitive visual design, what I've just decided to do is when I open a new tab, it takes me to my start page, and that includes a dashboard, which doesn't have any apps, but then like I have tabs for, and this is how I organize things pretty much anywhere, recreation or utilities. And then I have these subfolders that are intuitive, and it takes like, yes, it sounds like there's folders and then subfolders and then subfolders, and sometimes that is true, but it takes like under 3 to 5 seconds for me to find anything. It takes most of the time under 2 for me to just like start a fucking new tab and then navigate to whatever mobile looking folder that I have on the start page and then click on, like an app, any particular thing that I want. Yeah, so it's a little different, but it is still appy if you like that. Also, I forgot to say this, and I don't think it was horrible that I waited until now to say it, because this is not integral to usage of Vivaldi. I just like it. There is a troubleshooting issue I have had on and off with the email client. And another part of the reason I feel okay about waiting until now to say this is because apparently I'm one of the only fucking people who has had this problem, especially after recent updates, where it's just like they'll have trouble staying logged in, but then they'll log back in later, and they don't like punch at you, hey, you need to log back in, but like you'll see that there's like an error message that might have resolved itself or might have not by now. Maybe you need to wait until later, or maybe not, you know. And that's a trouble I have had, again, that is apparently not consistent with the wider user base. That might just be a me thing. Yeah.
The one thing that I have to change immediately, so
Yeah.
I've never heard of this thing, and maybe it's a Vivaldi specific thing, but by default searches go through startpage.com when you search up something. Garbage immediately. So I was just searching for Blue Sky so that I could pin it, and my entire page is ads of things that are not Blue Sky.
Huh.
I have to scroll not only past the first set, or the first 3 results, which are, download the free APK of Blue Sky, even though you can get that from the fucking Google Play Store. Some soft tonic link, which is scary, am5.com that I've never heard of, meta2kids.com, and then bluesky.app. Garbage. Changing
Another
that
thing that is heavily influenced here is the fact that I'm the kind of person where I'm very rarely satisfied by a browser's base settings. So when I like switch to a new like program like this, most of the time I'm going through like a quick once over in the settings, and one of the first things I usually do is switch to DuckDuckGo. And so I've just never touched that. So I can see that being a problem, but it is an easy switch. But yeah, that is fucked up. It's just, it's easy to switch away from it.
Yeah, it is easy. What the fuck just made a noise?
What?
Something just made a noise in my room. That was spooky.
I think I heard it.
I have no idea what that was. A little ping.
Tink.
Oh, well. I'm now logged into Blue Sky, so that's good. Yeah, start page. That's a weird little search engine you got going there, Vivaldi.
Yeah, that's the
Now I have to
big
look up
flaw.
start page who owns startpage.com.
Truth Social. Yeah.
Parent company Surfboard Holding BV. What? What is that?
I do not know, but I want to say in response to Lunar. You could set Wikipedia as a search engine. I think that's cool. On my dashboard, there's a default little card that I have not taken off just because I don't think it's necessary to. Of a service I don't really use, but Wiktionary. That was the dictionary thing I was talking about. Yeah, and so that's just a thing I can pull out at any time. I have to look at this letter, but it looks interesting. I should probably get back to work. Yes, you should. But this will help you with work if you use it consistently. Just come back to it later. Yeah.
Reading list. Okay. I'm going to have
to... Oh, yeah, for articles. Yeah.
I'm going to have to toy around with Vivaldi.
There's a lot.
I think I might end up staying with Arc, but... I'll see. See how it is. Can I? Okay, fine. Pin tab.
I'll take a screenshot of.
What are all of my uses? Periodic reload. That's interesting. I don't really want that. Bookmark tab. So wait, what if I hit bookmark? Where does my bookmarks go? Okay, they're over there on the right bar. I feel incredibly boxed in by having the top bar, sidebar on the left and sidebar on the right, and I immediately turned off the bar on the bottom. There's bars everywhere.
For some reason, those 4 bars are almost a comfort to me. I couldn't tell you why, but you can put the bookmarks as just a normal traditional bar up top or at the bottom. I've noticed that. It's just I like them more as a pull-out thing personally. Yeah. Also, this is what
if this right bar I couldn't toggle on and off really easily, it would just be gone.
Yeah. I just sent you. I didn't send this in the server because I have a feeling I'm gonna live to regret that at some point. But this is what for Ashley. This is what my current profile looks like.
Okay. Yeah, you do kind of have like a Russian nesting doll.
Where do you fucking see a Russian nesting doll?
Yeah, so you have like the group of all of your tabs, and then in that is like the nested tabs. So like the stream and Notion are together.
I thought you meant literally. Yeah.
What is all the shit on the right side of your screen? Wait, let me see all this.
Those are the custom icons for the little widgets. Also, that's my dashboard, and the tabs up top have like the appy shit. This is another page of the start page. I know that there's probably I'm just paranoid to share this with on the server, but yeah, this is my general layout. And that is one tab.
Do you use the YouTube button on your right?
That's specifically for shorts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't use that as a pull-out tab to watch YouTube. No.
Yeah, I go to like what is going on there?
I go to a little app button for that. Yeah.
All right. That is your setup is definitely not for me, but we'll see
definitely
what I can do with it. I definitely didn't almost just close Arc because I thought it was just the image window.
We're 2 very different kinds of neurodivergence, and this is where we find our crossroads.
All right, so because it's in our title, and I don't want to change the title because we're not going to get to it. What is your top note there?
Okay, so I didn't find a good time to transition to it, but this is where it's happening. Because we've been especially like you've been saying, and this is generally good advice, but the just do the thing philosophy for if you have an idea of something you want to do, for you it's any number of different any of the projects that you want to plug, and for me it's like audiobooks and animations, and I've realized that just doing the thing is kind of half the equation, because if you're starting to do anything, whether it's like maintaining yourself or whether it's a personal passion project, um like if you start doing it but you also have like bad thought practices, in terms of mental health wise, because I think in the age of social media especially, um people are like predisposed to finding criticism and how to oh, what do we need to do to avoid criticism. But then like at least I haven't noticed as much of a focus on when something goes right, yay, it went right. And it's much more on like hating shit that we don't like. Maybe I'm just in the wrong circles. But yeah, I think a lot of what steered me away from creative endeavors and from, like I said, even personal maintenance is that like, oh, I kind of just go, okay, I solved the problem. Now what other problems are going to bite me in the ass that I have to solve? Not even noticing that I didn't give due diligence to... I did a thing. Like if I drew a picture, it's like, oh, okay, I'm done drawing that picture. I'm done the hard work of like making that look how I want it to. Now, what other pictures was I going to draw? Instead of, by the way, I just drew a beautiful picture, And that's a very easy thought process to fall into in the age of social media. And I wanted to remind people just like, yes, just do the thing, but also, give yourself a pat on the back, understand your limitations, respect them, don't try and fight yourself on things, and see your needs and respect them. And that's just a general thing. It's not a long note that I have. I just wanted to give it as a little tidbit.
All right.
Because you can be steered away from important things if you're just trying to force yourself into doing it, but like you have like a self-abusive methodology for whatever endeavor you're getting into. Yeah. I'm done now.
All right. Well, I think that has been the show.
Yeah.
And thank you all for coming. Thank you all for chatting. Next week, there's definitely not going to be a show. I'm going to presume the week after that, we're also not going to be doing a show because I'm going to visit my girlfriend for 2 weeks. I don't know, the second week, it depends on how everything's going, whether or not I feel like I could do a show, but definitely not next week because that'll be my first day there. I come in the night before. So
second week Ashley is pregnant, and so we have to give her maternal leave.
And then I have the baby, and so I'll be back the week after.
It's cute.
It's like, all right, back to
it. Just fire the baby out.
It goes crashing out the window, and it's like, oh well.
This is the Beetlejuice style. Spoiler alert.
I like the spoiler alert after.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next 2 weeks, probably no show. I don't even necessarily want to agree to the one after it because I will have freshly gotten home the night before. So we will see when the next one is. It'll probably be a while.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
Hopefully we'll have shit to talk about. We won't forget to take notes for 3 weeks.
Good God, what if we're just like,
you were just like, nothing happened.
I completely uninstalled Notion, Ashley. I threw everything out and nothing happened, and I'm fucked.
I love how much I wanted to get into Notion, and now it's literally just one web page for typing in a couple sentences every couple of weeks.
Just like I use, okay, just to close out, I've used it for only 2 things, and it is the 2 things that I had in mind to use it for, not broadly. Scripts for shorts and notes for this show more commonly. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to leave the people on?
Oh yeah,
back. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, okay. So it's improv night. This Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in